What up, motherfuckers? It's your boy, the hater, pin this bitch once again. And you know, it's almost Royal Rumble time, which means, of course, motherfuckers, it's almost Hater Mania time. So I figured, what can we do while we wait for the Royal Rumble? You know what I mean? So I have a new idea. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to do a video a day from now till the Rumble. So I guess like, 5-6 videos. And it's going to be 25 reasons why something sucks, motherfuckers. You know, that's quite a few videos to do in 6 days. And that's a lot of reasons why something sucks, right? So the question is, what's the something going to be? You know, it might be why Mustafa Ali sucks. I know I've made a similar video years ago, but come on. I mean, I think we're due for another Mustafa Ali video. Then, of course, you know, we have other things that suck ass, like Hangman Page and his title reign, which has been boring as fuck. And then if I get bored and have nothing else to talk about, maybe I'll do 25 reasons why technical work rate production sucks, motherfuckers. I'm feeling some type of way. I'm feeling flippant, and I'm ready to have some fun, motherfuckers. But for now, let's talk a little bit about the Royal Rumble, alright? Obviously, I don't think it's an understatement when I say that this year's Royal Rumble is by far going to be the worst one. Now, as an actual match, it might be good, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to know what the match is going to be like. But in terms of the impact, it's going to be very shitty. Last year, around this time, I was equally skeptical about the Royal Rumble, which turned out to be one of my favorite ones of all time. You know, it was a great event. I remember the event being good, but more importantly, the match was good. You had Edge winning, you know, like entering at like number 1 and winning, you know? So that's pretty good already. The problem, of course, is that we kind of knew, you know, that it was probably going to be Edge. It could have been Daniel Bryan, and there's a few other people that it could have been, I suppose. But we knew that, like, there was at least one Edge, the one person who could have easily won, and it would have made sense, and the person was worthy of WrestleMania, and all these other things, right? We already knew that was a possibility. So with all that being said, cucks, question becomes, who's going to win this year, right? I have pulled up a list of the men's Rumble entrants. And it says here, motherfuckers, 15 out of the 30 entrants have been announced as of January 23rd. That's today, motherfuckers. So let's go over this list and see how many of these people actually have a chance of winning. Let's start with Angelo Dawkins, motherfuckers, who has a 0 chance of winning, and in my opinion, should have a 0 chance of being employed. But it is what it is. Montez Ford, another one that's never going to amount to anything, you know? You don't need these shitty tag teams. You know, if you want to go find tag teams, hire the Briscoe brothers. You know what I'm saying? Hire some good tag teams. You don't need these jabron tag teams like fucking Street Profits, which are, in my opinion, an abject failure in every capacity. They're not funny. They're not charismatic. They're overplayed. Like, Angelo Dawkins is not that kind of guy at all. You know, Montez Ford, it comes natural to him. He's like one of these goofballs who, like, you know, acts like an idiot all the time. Angelo Dawkins, he's like a college athlete. He's like a serious dude, and he's forced to do these ridiculous mannerisms and go like, yeah, what up, fam? Like, I have a feeling he's not that kind of guy. Nevertheless, the tag team sucks, and neither of these guys has any chance of, like, winning the Royal Rumble. This is like in Royal Rumble 1999 when Mosh and Thrasher came out, and people were like, okay, great. I can't wait till, like, Rikishi throws them out, you know, because nobody cares about these jabrones. Then we have Rey Mysterio, who I'm going to always have as a dark horse. Now, Rey Mysterio hasn't amounted to much in the last few years. The last memorable thing he did was he had that feud with Seth Rollins over his eye. None of that stupid crap. But the fact remains, Rey Mysterio is a legend. He's obviously the best wrestler thus far in this match, by a mile. And he's on the cover of WWE 2K22. So, him winning, of course, a huge long shot, right? The chances are like, I'd say 1%, you know, very, very small, right? But it would not be the worst choice. As a matter of fact, I think out of the ones that have been announced thus far, it'd be the best choice. Then we have Dominic! Dominic Mysterio, 0 chance. I mean, let's be honest, right? This guy, like, Dominic is never going to really make it. You know, he's never going to be Rey Mysterio. He doesn't have the allure of Rey Mysterio. He doesn't have the mask. He doesn't have, like, the fact that he's, like, you know, tiny. Rey Mysterio's a tiny, tiny guy, and he's jacked. Dominic is tall and lanky. You know, he's like the anti-Mysterio. So, he has no chance, but it'll be good to see him in there. Austin Theory, I feel like Austin Theory is going to do well in this match, but he's not going to win, you know, and he shouldn't, because Austin Theory sucks. I mean, Austin Theory has potential, but let's be real, it's already boring. Next up, we have Johnny Knoxville. So if I could choose someone to win, it would be Johnny Knoxville, motherfuckers, but obviously he's not going to win. That goes without saying. Sheamus, 0 chance. Damian Priest, let's be real, 0 chance. Also, Damian Priest announced it on Twitter, or it was announced on Twitter. AJ Styles, 0 chance. I would like to see AJ Styles win. That would be a good one, but he's just not there right now. This year, he's a mid-carder, you know? AJ Styles is like one of those guys. He's like almost like Randy Orton, where one year he might be a main eventer, the next year he might be like an upper mid-carder, and the next year after that, he might be like a mid-carder. And this is one of those years where he's just a mid-carder. Then we have Big E. Big E has to be one of the favorites, unfortunately. Do I think Big E deserves to win the Rumble? Absolutely not. I don't even think Big E should come anywhere close to winning the Rumble. But he was the former champion. He might get screwed and thus join the Rumble and win somehow, right? Then we have Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, who have a 0 chance of winning, let's be real. Sami Zayn, Cucky Kingston, and Cucky Owens. None of these guys deserve it. So as far as I'm concerned, the winner of this year's Royal Rumble is not on this list. It'll be one of the other 15 jabrones that either is going to be announced or is going to be a surprise entrant. You know, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of surprise entrants because, like, you know, otherwise you're going to have the Royal Rumble full of people like Chad Gable. You know, I understand that in 1999 it was a different time and I was young, so I didn't really understand the hierarchy of wrestling, right? And I really wanted The Rock to win, but because I was young and new to wrestling, I remember thinking like, wow, the odds are 1 in 30. That's like really small. But then I'm like, well, they're not 1 in 30 because like I already know Scotty 2 Hotty's probably not going to win, right? You know, I knew wrestling was fake. So it's like, I know Scotty 2 Hotty's not going to win. But I was under the impression that other people like Billy Gunn or Val Venus, right? Godfather, these people could have a very strong showing and maybe even win. And a lot of them did. Billy Gunn was like in the Final 4 or something, right? X-Pac had a good showing. Like X-Pac was poised as someone that could win it, you know? Now, obviously, like, he wasn't going to because he was a heel and Triple H was champion, but he was poised as someone that could. Kane was someone that could win. You know, even though it was clear by, like, the booking that it was going to be Kane versus X-Pac at WrestleMania, there was a chance, right? There was always a chance. Big Show had a chance, obviously, right? There was a lot of possibilities. Now, there are no possibilities. Except for, ironically, this year, there's a lot of possibilities. Because this year, there isn't even one person that you can point to and be like, well, it's obviously going to be him. Like, you can't point to Big E and say it's going to be him. Big E's not a main eventer. You know what I mean? Big E was a main eventer for, like, a couple of weeks. He had, like, a shitty title reign. Like I said, he's going to be a transitional champion. He was a transitional champion, right? And let's be real. You know, he won it with Money in the Bank. He's like on the level of, like, The Miz. You know? That's the kind of mid-carder Big E is. He's like an upper mid-carder, but, like, not an upper mid-carder, you know? Like, Dolph Ziggler, when he was, like, in his prime, was, like, an upper mid-carder. You know, never really a mid-eventer. Like, Big E's, like, below that. So, no one here has the booking, you know, required to win the Royal Rumble. You know? You have, for example, AJ Styles, who has the resume to win the Royal Rumble, but not the booking. You know? That's it. Him and Rey Mysterio are the only ones that have the resume. Everyone else is a jobber. You know, everyone else is a complete jobber, like a one-time champion at best, you know? So I don't know who's going to win, and quite frankly, I don't really give a shit. You know, I look forward to it because I love the Royal Rumble, but honestly, like, I kind of want all these 15 guys to be the first 15 guys so we can just move on. And then the next 15 guys can be good guys, like good wrestlers, you know? So I guess if I had to guess, I think it's going to be Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? Like, there's no other explanation. Either Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, you know? Because, like, I don't think Seth Rollins is going to win the Rumble. Like, people are saying, like, well, if Seth Rollins doesn't win the title, he's going to win the Rumble. That makes no sense. Why would they do that? You know what I mean? Seth Rollins doesn't deserve to be a 2-time Rumble winner. So, you know, there's that. And then, more importantly, motherfuckers, there's also, like, the Brock Lesnar option, which I think is going to happen. It's going to be Brock or Roman, and they're going to fight the other at WrestleMania. Unless they do my plan, which is bring back Undertaker and have that motherfuck go out there and, win the Royal Rumble, like come in at number 30, win the Rumble, triple threat at WrestleMania. But that's not here nor there, motherfucks. Beyond that, we have the Women's Royal Rumble, which, I mean, is even worse. Because the Women's Royal Rumble involves every woman in the company, as well as several other women from other companies, right? So we have, for example, Rhea Ripley. What the fuck happened to Rhea Ripley, by the way? You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen her on TV in like 1,000 years, it feels like. Maybe I have, and I just like keep, you know, just pushing forward when I see her bitch ass. But the facts are what the facts are. Rhea Ripley sucks. You know? And she's like one of those women that is due to win like a Royal Rumble because, like, you know, she's being booked as like a big deal, even though in my opinion she sucks. But we have Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ass, who like this gimmick has gone far too long. The Nikki ass gimmick has gone far too long. Dana Brooke, who's been employed for like 10 years and has had like 4 matches on TV. You know, Dana Brooke, I cannot believe that Dana Brooke is even in WWE still. It's kind of crazy. She's been there for like almost 10 years. Then we have Carmella, who, let's be real, it's over. Queen Zelina, nobody cares. Tamina, another like, you know, decade, tenured wrestler who's done nothing. Then we have Shotzi, who 2 years ago was like the breakout star in NXT, and now she's a complete nobody. Natalia, who nobody cares about. Aaliyah, who I didn't even know was still in the company. Naomi, who I didn't even know was still in the company. Shayna Baszler, who I didn't even know was still in the company. Charlotte Flair, who probably should just win. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, who are legends. I don't care what anyone says. Lita, that'd be nice to see Lita win. You know, I'd love to see that. Lita apparently was saying how, like, you know, she has like what's it called? Like she's like, I have one more run left in me, you know, which is pretty badass. Like, if Lita comes back and she's like, yo, motherfucker, like, you know, I'm actually back, you know, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if she comes back for real, you know, and has like an edge type situation. How funny would it be if she comes back and she starts banging Edge again? You know what I'm saying? That'd be fucking hilarious, motherfuckers. So, you know, we'll see what happens. If Lita is actually going to come back to wrestling for even for like 1 year, you know, she should win, obviously, right? Because Lita's like too good of a wrestler to never win the Royal Rumble now that they have it. Then we have Michelle McCool, who, you know, Kelly and Summer Rae, who basically just once a year come and make their 10 grand or whatever they get paid to be in the Royal Rumble. That's like their ticket right here. We have Mickie James, who, like, obviously if I were booking it myself, the last 2 people would be Lita and Mickie James, and you can go either way. Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. Nobody cares about any of these broads. And there's room for another 9 of these motherfucks. You know, I'm sure Doudrop is going to appear here at some point, you know. Who gives a rat's ass? If I had to guess, I'll say the winner is going to be either Lita or Bayley. You know, I think Bayley's going to come back, maybe as a face, and win. Who gives a flying fuck? Nonetheless, even though it's a women's Royal Rumble and I don't really give a shit about it, it's still like a Royal Rumble, which I enjoy. So, you know, there's always that suspense. But this Royal Rumble is actually shaping up to be a pretty good one with respect to the other matches that are not the Royal Rumble match. So we have Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, which in my opinion is like the last dream match left. I've been waiting for this match for like 15 years, motherfucks. Since Bobby Lashley left WWE, I'm like, oh, fuck. I hope that one day we get to see Lesnar and Lashley. It wasn't seeming very realistic. You know, that's huge. I can't wait for that match. You know, I would even be okay with Bobby Lashley winning. But the way I would book it is Brock Lesnar beats Lashley clean. You know, maybe Goldberg appears to set up the mandatory Goldberg WrestleMania match. But we'll see, motherfucks. Then we have Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I couldn't give a fuck about this match. Doudrop needs to be released. Doudrop started off as this comedy character, and the problem with Doudrop, motherfuckers, is very simple. She came in as like the muscle of Ava Marie, who got released. You know, and all of a sudden Doudrop's still around. It's fucking weird. Then we have Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Now, this is cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is a cool thing to see. But this is your typical Miz and Maurice, intergender, mixed tag match, right? Edge and Beth Phoenix are both great. You know, like, I've always liked Edge, obviously. I've always thought he was overrated, but I've always liked Edge. I've always liked Beth Phoenix. I also thought she was overrated, but it's going to be good to see them. The problem is, like, who cares? You know, like, I don't really care. Like, I could see myself watching this match for 5 minutes and skipping it, you know, and seeing the ending. I don't really care about the actual match. But in terms of, like an actual match, it feels like a big match. As a matter of fact, I would argue that both this match and the Brock Lesnar-Bobby Lashley match could easily be WrestleMania main events in this day and age, right? I could totally see WrestleMania shaping up with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley being like the main event, and Edge and Beth versus Miz and Maurice being like, you know, one of the main matches, just like when Cena and Nikki Bella wrestled Miz and Maurice. Just like that, you know? I could see that happening. So, I'm excited for this match. Then we have Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I could see Seth Rollins winning the title here. I don't know why they would choose this. Like, a lot of people are hot on Seth Rollins right now. Seth Rollins is obviously a good wrestler. There's no doubt about it. But the problem is, like, why have Roman Reigns drop it so close to WrestleMania? The only explanation would be if you really want to give no one a WrestleMania moment and you just want Roman Reigns to win the title back at WrestleMania. You know, he's already the most dominant champion basically ever, right? So the question becomes, motherfucks, what's going to happen, right? I would personally prefer Roman Reigns beats Seth Rollins, and then the winner of the Rumble, The Undertaker player, goes and beats Roman Reigns. That's the way I would book it. And I would also put Lesnar in that match and have Taker beat them both. But that's neither here nor there. The issue I have with this, obviously, like, that's how I would book it. Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, right? Lesnar is getting ready to do the F5, right? He picks up Lashley in the F5. The lights go off, right? The referee's down for some reason, right? Lights come on. The Undertaker's there, player. The Undertaker does a chokeslam on Lesnar, who is like discombobulated. Lesnar gets up, all confused, speared by Lashley. Lashley becomes the champ, right? Later on in the night, Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. You have both these matches before, or maybe after the Royal Rumble. I don't know. Point being, lights go off. Taker interferes, causes Roman Reigns to lose. Then one of them wins it somehow. And then Taker wins the Rumble, and then here we are. It writes itself, motherfucks. You don't even have to do the micro booking that I just did. The fact is, Lesnar, Reigns, Taker. Triple threat, Taker beats them both is the way to go. But I understand that's obviously a huge long shot. So, with all that in mind, I would not be surprised if people like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Lesnar, or Lashley end up in the, in the Royal Rumble. Otherwise, I'd say, like, out of the ones that are announced, booking-wise, the one that makes the most sense to me is Rey Mysterio, personally. But I would say, like, if I were to bet, I would have to bet on Big E because he was, like, the champion, you know? So, like, this year, out of everyone that's been announced, Big E's the only one that's actually had, like, a positive year, you know? Like, where he's better off at, like, now than he was at the last Royal Rumble. Lest we forget, Big E was getting his ass beat by Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum match last year. So, you know, there you have it, motherfucks. But with all that being said, I'm looking forward more to the actual matches. You know, Roman Reigns, I think, should come out on top over Seth Rollins. It would even be better, like, if you plan on Seth Rollins becoming champion, it'd be even better if Roman Reigns beats him and then Seth Rollins joins the Rumble as a last-ditch effort and wins the Rumble. That would be better than having, like, Roman Reigns drop it at the Royal Rumble when we're so close to WrestleMania, you know? So, you could actually make a star by having someone beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. You know, kind of like they tried with Drew McIntyre. You can make a star. You could make a moment, you know? But what are you going to do? Point is, also the possibility of someone like The Rock coming back or John Cena coming back. Who the fuck knows? That's what I would like to see. There's also a rumor, one of my friends was telling me about, that they might try to get one person from the Indies, like a surprise indie entrant. And some stirrings are saying it might be Jericho. Now, I think that's dumb, because if that happens, all that's going to happen is the whole crowd is going to start cheering A-Dub, A-Dub, right? Now, the only way that works is if Jericho comes out and gets immediately eliminated by, like, I don't know, a returning Santino Marella. Like, that's the only way. You have to humiliate Jericho. Just to make them look like, like low-level, like low-tier motherfucks. Or, if Vince McMahon really wanted to do that and didn't give a fuck, bring in Cody Rhodes. That'd be pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. If Cody Rhodes comes out, that'd be pretty badass, only because it's like, holy shit, dude, it's Cody Rhodes, you know? So, there you go, motherfucks. I expect some returns, but I'm not really that excited about this many returns. So, we'll see what the fuck happens. The facts are, motherfucks, now, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about this Royal Rumble? We're gonna watch it, we're gonna review it, but until then, we're gonna do a bunch of videos about how things suck. And with that in mind, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Go fuck yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Probably tomorrow up in this bitch.